Operators are making a good living bringing the curious face to face with the great white. Now, after a fatal attack on a popular Adelaide beach before Christmas, scientists are questioning whether feeding these natural killers from tourist boats, thereby associating humans with food, is really a good idea. Feeding Frenzy, a joint project with the Bulletin magazine, is reported by Anthony Hoy.
You know the great white shark is the top predator on the top line of the food chain. There's nothing who can harm him. The only one who can harm him is man.
It's a heck of a killing machine. It's huge. The feeling you get when they go past is a bit of a surprise, that is for sure.
Because we live in such a huge, dry continent, most Australians have a love affair with the coast and the surrounding seas. But below the surface, the ocean also harbours some of our deepest and most primeval fears.
People don't want to deal with and be part of the fear that's associated with being eaten alive. And my policy has been over the years is we have to learn to live with the sharks and not just kill them from fear.
The opportunity to confront those fears is being offered to adventurous souls. An up-close encounter with the great white shark is available through adventure operators in South Australia.
Well, we're well known for it, not only nationally but internationally, and it's high-yield adventure tourism. It attracts a lot of international people here and a lot of international attention. Look, it is a niche market, and not many people do it, not many people want to do it, but those people that do it really have the opportunity here off the coast of...
Been very successful last season. Every trip we made, we have seen sharks, so 100% success rate, and all the tourists are very happy. So, and that's what you want, happy customers.
Rolf Schabaisky is an electrical contractor and tour operator who has injected over $2 million into the shark adventure business. One of two operators licensed for this type of encounter, Rolf has had the rich and famous jumping in with the man-eaters.
My clients come from all walks of life, really. But I had some very famous people. I had Michael Schumacher here, he done it. And I had Greg Norman, he has done it. I had Pierluigi Martini, Formula One, also done it. I get many, many people from everywhere in the world.
A typical tour involves a trip out to the Neptune Islands, where the sharks are attracted to the boat with burley or chum. Offcuts from the local tuna factories are offered as bait. We're 30 kilometres off the coast of South Australia in great white shark territory. New Zealand fur seals come to Neptune Island to breed and in the process attract the predators from the Great Southern Ocean. The Calypso Star brings a steady stream of international tourists to interact here with the predator. At $500 per person per day, this has become a very lucrative sector of Australia's adventure tourism market. The operator, Rolf Schabaisky, is booked solid until mid-year. There is no doubt that these close encounters with the terrors from the deep are a compelling experience. But a debate on the advisability of attracting these predators and possibly in training them in much the same way we would train circus animals or seals is now underway in the world of marine science. Can sharks be trained?
Sharks can be trained. There's plenty of evidence in terms of laboratory training of sharks to discern from various colours and textures and things like that, where they can touch buttons and get rewarded, that sort of stuff. So yes, they can be.
Is it true that you attract larger numbers of sharks to Australia's coastline and increase the probability of attack?
No way in the world. That is baloney. The sharks are there. The sharks have always been there. And where I'm operating from is about 45 miles out from Port Lincoln. In Neverland, there's no one there. There's only to Ireland. The next stop is Antarctica or some South Pole. So we don't attract them. The sharks have to be there, number one. Otherwise, we won't get them. And the sharks are there for one reason only, because of the seals, the puppies of the seals, and there's the food they're eating.
There is a feeling from locals in Port Lincoln that the tourism activity encourages sharks, and that in turn puts people in danger.
I think a lot of people are against that because they reckon we train the sharks on, to feed and all that, but it's not true. We have many other operations in Port Lincoln who attract sharks, and all the people are against that too. But it's, you know, that is close to town. We are 45 miles away. We don't attract anything to the Port Lincoln or anywhere near there.
I just think it encourages sharks to interact with boats a bit more. I'm not dead against it, but I do think it encourages sharks to probably come up to a boat with a bit more confidence.
You've had that experience yourself in recent times?
Saw a shark 4 weeks ago whilst diving for abalone in about 40 foot of water, and it definitely wasn't scared of me.
Abalone diver Dave Buckland has seen the worst a shark can do.
My brother was scallop diving at Smoky Bay, which is 300 k's west of Port Lincoln, and he was in about 30 foot of water, and I don't know what happened. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got taken by a 4 to 5 metre shark, and obviously it's been a horrible experience and something that I'll never forget, and that I struggled to get back to work for a while, but I'm coping with it now.
I'd just come back to my bag, and out the corner of an eye I saw this flash. The first thoughts were a dolphin, and I looked down. I could have just about reached out and touched it, and there was a white right alongside me.
Kim Penaluric is another abalone diver from Port Lincoln. He thinks the sharks have recently become more aggressive.
This is the 6th one I've seen, and usually they're a bit more docile when they come up to you. They still give you a nasty shock, but this one would just come past and gave this couple of quick kicks with its tail and just seemed agitated. It's just a feeling you get from the animal.
Abalone divers are a tough breed. They don't scare easily, and Kim Penaluric says he's not looking for any favours.
I don't think there's anything that'll ever be done, and I wouldn't really expect it. It's just a part of my job. In the bay here or off Adelaide beaches or where there is numbers of people, I really think that when one starts hanging around, the authorities should do something about it.
Okay, those things here, the emergency.
A descent in a cage is the safest way to meet a great white. The cage allows you to enter the shark's domain. You can watch them, and they in turn can watch you. This up-close exposure is a world away from Rod Fox's first encounter with a great white.
This is our history room with a bit of some of the work we've done in the past. It features a wax figure here made by Ripley's Museums. They used the replica of the photographs that were taken on the operating table when they were stitching me up. It's a continuous reminder of how lucky I am and about how white sharks have become part of my life.
Rod Fox is the other operator running Shark Adventure Tours. His mauling by a great white 40 years ago changed his life forever.
I dived down to spear a fish, and I was just about to spear it when this huge big crunch hit me in the chest, knocked me through the water, the mask off my face, the gun out of my hand, and I knew I was in really big trouble. I tried to gouge around the shark's eyes as hard as I could, and it seemed to let me go. I got up to the surface, a boat came, picked me up, raced me off to hospital, and they stitched me up, and I'm here today.
Shark attacks are rare, but when they do occur, they raise community alarm, apprehension, and questions about the behaviour of this animal at the top of the ocean food chain.
Great white sharks eat things as big as humans every day. They eat dolphins and seals are their main food, stingrays and things like that. And the chances of shark attack, I can't believe that there aren't more shark attacks. And it's only in the last couple of years with satellite tags that we're starting to realise just they take over the whole ocean, and there probably are fewer than we thought, that they just pass through every now and again.
Tagging and recording sharks is how Rolf Schabaisky and Rod Fox helped the underfunded CSIRO research programs integrate whites. But it wasn't always so. In the past, it was they who were the hunters, turning the predator into prey.
Some, like Rodney Fox, there's an additional compulsion. But after his traumatic experience with the white shark, The first return to the sea was a numbing psychological barrier to overcome. He set out, as some Pacific Islanders still do when anyone is attacked by sharks, to revenge himself.
Last week we tagged 5.
Really?
5 sharks, new ones.
Your own identification?
Yeah, no, all the information goes to the CSIRO and the fisheries. So they get the information so they can work. They have a database which they keep, and we know exactly what happened.
Both operators defend their practice of attracting sharks with fish and chum, and they deny that the sharks are trained to expect food from the back of a boat.
I think sharks are fairly...
Feeding the sharks large quantities of fish, are your bait and trained sharks more dangerous, more antagonistic, and more likely to attack when not fed?
No, not really. The sharks are hungry over time. They eat. I give them a little bit of food. I try to give them only a few pieces every time when I see one new one, and then we pull it away from board with some leaks.
The operators are regulated by the Department of Primary Resources in South Australia. They decide who can hold a licence and the areas where they can operate. Recently, the department has become concerned about some of the operational practices. There have also been allegations that unlicensed operators are offering cheap shark diving tours out of Port Lincoln. They are reported to be using pig and horse blood, a banned practice to attract the sharks.
Oh, there's a shark. He's coming. Yeah, come on, baby. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh.
Our fascination with the deep and what lies below will always be with us.
The feeling you get when they go past is a bit of a surprise, that is for sure.
Because we live in such a huge, dry continent, most Australians have a love affair with the coast and the surrounding seas. But below the surface, the ocean also harbours some of our deepest and most primeval fears.
Penny Hoy.
You know, the great white shark is the top predator on the top line of the food chain. There's nothing who can harm him. The only one who can harm him is man.
It's a heck of a killing machine. It's huge.
People don't want to deal with and be part of the fear that's associated with being eaten alive. And my policy has been over the years is we have to learn to live with the sharks and not just kill them from fear.
The opportunity to confront those fears is being offered to adventurous souls. An up-close encounter with the great white shark is available through adventure operators in South Australia.
Well, we're well known for it, not only nationally but internationally, and it's high-yield adventure tourism. Attracts a lot of international people here and a lot of international attention. Look, it is a niche market, and not many people do it, not many people want to do it.
Operators are making a good living bringing the curious face to face with the great white. Now, after a fatal attack on a popular Adelaide beach before Christmas, scientists are questioning whether feeding these natural killers from tourist boats, thereby associating humans with food, is really a good idea. Feeding Frenzy, a joint project with the Bulletin magazine, is reported by Anthony.